You're watching the Sports and Political channel of LB. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Let's get down to business. So, in this particular video, we're going to talk about white supremacist Killian Ryan. Now, this guy joined the army for reasons, get this, y'all, so he could be better equipped in killing black people. This was this man's reason for joining the army. Just insane. Coming from CNN. A former soldier who prosecutors say claimed he enlisted to become better at killing black people was kicked out of the army following an FBI investigation that uncovered ties to white supremacist organizations and Nazi ideology. Killian M. Ryan was arrested on August 26 and was charged with one count of knowingly making a false statement on his application for a security clearance. So, when you fill out a form for security clearance, that's the SF-86 form. You have to fill that form out before you're allowed to get a security clearance if you perform certain jobs within the military. Or in the civilian sector, if there's certain jobs that you do in the civilian sector, which requires you to have a security clearance, you have to fill out that form. And you have to be honest. You cannot lie. And that's what he did. He lied on that SF-86 form. But nevertheless, on that same day, he was discharged from the army for serious misconduct. Now, one thing about like the branches of the services, like the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, what have you, what they do, and of course, I forgot about the Air Force. What they would do is they would put in general terms, but they won't really go into specifics. So, like, say for instance, a captain that was a commanding officer of a ship, say like the ship ran aground or it collided with another ship, they'll just relieve the CO or the captain of his duties as a commanding officer, and they will say something generic as loss in confidence in his ability to command. That's the kind of generic stuff they will say. So, prosecutors say Ryan operated social media accounts where he was in contact with extremists, including where he made the shocking claim about why he decided to join the military. Now, Ryan had been serving as a fire support specialist and held the rank of a specialist when he was discharged. A fire support specialist gathers intelligence and enemy target positions to help the Army in deploying and firing artillery. The job requires a secret security clearance. Ryan had been serving with the 2nd Battalion, 319th Airborne Field Artillery, and the 1st Battalion, 325th Airborne Infantry Regiment. He had not been deployed. The former paratrooper was discharged for multiple driving under the influence of alcohol violations, according to a defense official, but prosecutors said they found far more serious issues during the investigation. On the application for the security clearance in May 2020, Ryan had allegedly said that it had been more than 10 years since he'd been in contact with his father, who also has felony convictions for drug violations and auto theft. Man, the apple don't fall far from the tree. But investigators found a number of social media accounts, all allegedly registered to Ryan, which were used to contact his father during the 10-year period. They also found recent photos of Ryan with his father, court records say. When the investigators further probed the accounts, they noted that one of Ryan's accounts had been in contact with numerous accounts associated with racially motivated extremism. The account username referenced Sigurd, a figure in Norse mythology that is sometimes co opted by white supremacists, and an email registered to the account referenced Nazi ideology. On another account, Ryan allegedly posted, I serve for combat experience, so I'm more proficient in killing ninjas. Investigators found that Ryan registered some of these social media accounts with the email that included Nazius 1488. Now, Killian Ryan is one of many individuals who carries this ideology in the military. When you go in the military, you get provided with a whole lot of training. You get access to weapons. You get access to um, tactics that when you go out in the battlefield, you would learn how to basically beat your enemy, should that go that far. But when you get home and you get out the military, well, that training follows you. Woodson not say that he goes back to his white supremacist cronies and people who he's been in contact with, and he has the knowledge, he has the training, he has the aptitude and the wherewithal. Not only that, since he'll be legal to carry weapons, Woodson not say that he'll have access to weaponry, and he and his white supremacists co-ops, cohorts, co-conspirators, and co-defendants plot an ambush on a unsuspecting black community. What's it not say that he won't engage in that type of activity once he gets out? Now, I find it funny that the media is really not signal boosting this, considering that just a couple months ago, few short months ago, going back to say about May of 2022, every single motherfucking Republican that was in the House of Representatives voted against a measure that will conduct investigations of white supremacist ties within the military ranks. Every last motherfucking Republican voted against that bill. Needless to say, it also died in the Senate too, because in the Senate you need 60 votes for a bill to pass without some provisions being put in place to where it will only need a majority vote. But typically, you need 60 votes in the Senate for a bill to pass. And every last motherfucking Republican voted against this measure to investigate white supremacist activity within the military ranks. And why would they vote against white supremacist ties in the military ranks? Oh, I can tell you, because every last one of them are white supremacists. Every last motherfucker that calls himself to be a congressman or a representative or whatever, every last motherfucker, even the senators, all of them are white supremacists. So you cannot expect them to investigate white supremacist ties in the military, because to them, they don't see it. They don't see it. So this is where we at. So for this guy to get a security clearance when he clearly had white supremacist ties, beyond shameful, man. Beyond shameful. But then again, you shouldn't be surprised at what goes on here. You should not be surprised of the buffoonery that gets displayed. This guy had no business having a security clearance. This guy has no business having access to weapons. For all we know, this guy could have been the next Peyton Gendron or the next uh, Kyle Rittenhouse or the next Dylan Roof. Because when you fail to hold these people accountable, these people get emboldened until you cannot control the beast anymore. Absolutely disgusting. 95 people charged in connection with the January 6th insurrection served in the U.S. military. 95 people who was who were part of the stormtroopers on January 6th served in the U.S. military that was charged with storming that damn Capitol. Because as a military service member, one of the things they tell you is to avoid protests. That's one of the things they tell you. If they're in any kind of gatherings, any kind of political protests or anything like that, you as a military service member are to avoid that at all costs. You are not to participate in those kind of demonstrations. But considering that we have people in society who thinks that the rules apply to me but not for thee, they would get involved in these type of demonstrations, and they land the ass in the motherfucking brig. This guy will more likely end up doing time in the brig for what he did. So he lied on the SF-86 form. That's the application for the security clearance, right? Then he's basically admitted to joining the army, all for the pretense of being trained to kill black people. That's right. This is where we at in society. The way we can have white supremacists join the military, get the training on how to shoot weapons, how to employ tactics, how to use those tactics, and then when they get out, take that back to their gangs or their white supremacist cohorts and co-defenders and conspirators or whatever, and then use that to target unsuspecting black people on random days at random times where black people are doing random routine things. And this is where we at. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share these videos on your social media platforms. This piece of trash needs to be where his daddy at, right under the fucking jail. This your man. Scream at me. Hey!